Hello, it's a good day to go racing. Today we're going to go racing in 164, and it's a Le Mans prototype racer. Although I have a lot of Formula 1 cars by Kyosho, I don't really consider Formula 1 to be the top tier of road racing. I consider Le Mans prototype racing to be that because an F1 race doesn't last for 24 hours. It only lasts a few hours. But these guys, granted, there's three drivers. In this case, you got these three guys driving this car. But that means they're racing at least probably 8 hours each, right? Like, when's the last time you drove for 8 hours? Just at a normal pace, that gets tiring. But then try to do that at 200 miles per hour with a bunch of other cars driving around. That must be pretty stressful. So that's why I consider endurance racing to be the top tier of road racing. I still think rally racing's better, though. Okay, well, anyways, I'm doing a backlog video because I have another car that came in, and it makes no sense for me to review that car unless I can show this car first. So this one's been in my collection for a long time, but I've never reviewed a Spark model. I have some of their 87 scale cars, and we'll compare that later. Okay, so this apparently Spark is getting licensing. Interesting, it actually has licensing from the 24 Hours of Le Mans. There we go, and there we go. This is the winner of the 2019 race, by the way. And you saw those racers' names. Came in this box. It's an interesting mounting style they have. They have like a 90-degree twist. So this little plastic tab twists into that slot there. Well, what's kind of silly is there's no branding on the bottom of this model. There's nothing saying what this car is, or when it was made. So it's a really strange thing that Spark model chooses to do, or Sparky in this case. The parent company is called Mini Max, apparently. Weird. Macau. Alright. This brand, Spark, they make larger and smaller scale vehicles. But I think 164 might be a relatively new foray for these guys. So, since it didn't say what's on the bottom of the model, I'll tell you, this is a Toyota. It's called the TS050. It was designed specifically for Le Mans prototype racing, and it competed between 2016 to 2020. So there's a little 2.4 liter twin turbocharged V6 back here, and it was making around 500 horsepower. What makes this interesting is it's a hybrid system. It was classified as an 8 megajoule hybrid vehicle. So there's a 500 horsepower electric motor somewhere in here. Sorry, I don't know where it is. I think it might be front and back. It could be a four-wheel drive vehicle. And then there's the lithium-ion batteries and stuff as well, because hybrids need to have that. It's rolling on 18-inch wheels, and then this car was the champion for the year 2018 and the year 2019. They were the World Endurance Champs. Okay, it entered 34 races, and then it won 19 of those races. So that's quite a dominating chassis there. Alright, so here's a little... So, yeah, again, I mean, that's a lot of traffic, Granted, over 24 hours, I don't think the traffic is that tight. This is obviously the start of a race. But Formula 1 cars, they're all generally the same cars. They're all going around the same speed. But Le Mans, they have the top tier LMP1, and then they have the second tier, and possibly a third tier. Sorry, the camera's not showing the second tier, like road cars back there. So, it's definitely got to be a mind... messing with the mind when you're racing against various cars of various speeds, right? You have to reset your mind, just approaching different types of traffic. And again, this is occurring at night, in the morning, rain or shine. It's a 24-hour race, so... Okay, well, let's get into this model now. So it is a die-cast body, but I think there's a lot of plastic parts on it. The base is all plastic. It's riveted together, so that's unfortunate. And it's running racing slicks, which makes sense. It does roll. It's a silent roller. Quite nice, actually, if that matters to you guys. It seems a little too nice to be rolling down a Hot Wheels track, though. The wheels here, yeah, they look like that photograph, right? You got the dimples, you got some air pockets going through the spokes, and then you got the center cap, or the center knockoff nut there. What I don't see is any sort of brake system, but I don't think these Sparky models were that expensive. You can look them up obviously on eBay or whatever online shop you peruse. Now let's look at the graphics here. You see that wrinkliness? I have a suspicion these are all decals. Yeah, they have to be. Now I'm looking for the air pockets. That's a tell for a decal. Somewhere on here we'll probably find a big air pocket in one of these body creases. Okay, well, anyways, as long as you don't fondle the vehicle too often, it should be alright. But maybe 10-20 years from now, these decals might crack off, so that's why I don't really like decals. The mirrors here, they seem to be separate plastic pieces, and there's tiny printing on them. There's a little silver paint here in the mirrors, so that's good. Boy, there's just so much going on here. So you can see, well, let's start with the front end actually, try to follow the flow of the air. So first we'll start with the headlights. Clear lenses, and then there's some sort of molded details behind those lenses indicating all the various lights and stuff. This big, holy, wow, yeah, so that's a super deep vent, right? So it's all dark in there. This must be the plastic base here, this chin spoiler. So that's a nice front end for sure. Again, this wrinkliness makes me believe these are all decals. But so far, you know, the decal is going into the creases, so there's no air pockets yet. I find the design of this car interesting, how the total top of the wheel well is open to reduce air pressure. So you can literally see them there, so that's cool. A whole bunch of round I don't know what these would be. Probably access points to the suspension system. Looks like some body clips maybe for these fenders. You know, if you get into an accident, they'll just unsnap it and put on a whole new front end. I think this might be one clamshell here, this front end. Alright, so you got this like airplane cockpit here with the central wiper blade sticking up, painted black. You got this black paint here in this vent. The vent actually, well, maybe it's not black paint. I mean, you can see the pick is literally going into the vent. I don't know. I have to assume it stops. I don't think it goes all the way in there, but it's dark in there, so it's very realistic. So the air flows in here, and then it must go around the wheel well, and then it comes out, and it flows into the radiator pods. So this radiator pod, look, again, the pick just vanishes. So that's very cool. I mean, a lesser brand, it would just be blanked off. But this one is a real, you know, simulating a vent pretty nicely. Okay, so let's see here. Then the air is flowing around this cockpit, and then you have this vertical wing. I don't know if these are for stability or what. You know, from sideways, obviously straight line stability, just like the tail of an airplane, it makes sense, but these things do have to go around turns, so I would think going around a turn this would actually be detrimental because the air is going to hit it. But what do I know? I'm just collecting model cars. I don't work for Toyota. Okay, this is an interesting vertical here for the rear wing. You know, there's an air slot here, so maybe, you know, again, going sideways, maybe it lets a little air go through the side instead of just being a giant wall. Alright, so this is an interesting wing. It's pretty short, but it's very wide. These must be the exhaust ports, I imagine, and they're painted silver. Then we come around to the back, and then does this go through, I wonder? I mean, my pick is going pretty far in there, but I don't know if it goes all the way through. Well, not here, but you can actually see air right there, right? So there is air passing up here from the bottom. So that's interesting. So again, I guess it's done to reduce air pressure here in the wheel well. All the air just passes out the back. Some veins there. So the wing, yeah, it's nice. I mean, the verticals and the horizontals, they're not super thick. They're not thick like a Hot Wheels. So it's definitely better. Okay, well, just seems to be a lot of ports and access hatches here to get into everything. Let's see about this cockpit. It's quite long. You know, I think this might be the door, right here. But then look how far away the windshield is. So let's get the flashlight and see if there's anything inside of that cockpit. Yeah, see the dashboard? It's super long. I don't see a seat. I mean, I'm sure it's in there. It's just so far back in there. It's just too much light. No, well, it's just too much distortion. I'm gonna have to assume there's a seat in there, but there. I guess, is that it? Whoa! Look at this. I think it's got a giant brace on the sides of the shoulders, and then in between that, in that lower gap, that's like a rectangular steering wheel. I'm thinking. I didn't look up photos of this interior, but see, it looks like that might be a headrest there, and then it's got these bars that come across the shoulders and attached to the dashboard. Interesting. Alright. Well, I guess that's it. I mean, there's a whole mess load of decals on here, but I gotta say, they're actually applied very nice. Maybe I missed it, but I don't really see any air pockets I usually see on all the other diecasts that run decals. Here? No? I don't know. I suppose maybe that could be an air pocket, but anyways, it comes in a plastic case. If you don't want to mess with the decals, just leave it in the plastic case. But I take it out and I leave it in a different cabinet. As I mentioned, this isn't a super expensive model. And so, for the price that these things go for, it's actually quite nice. It's really impressive, actually. I mean, the amount of details physically, and all the extra pieces, and the tightness and the thinness of the parts. Like, what is this thing? It's like a video camera or a SAT system? But anyways, and then all the graphics involved. So it's quite fantastic. The only thing that's missing is a brake system, and just general knowledge about what the thing is. That's really odd, again. But yeah, I'm gonna get some more. I do have some more. I just never reviewed them, so that's why I'm throwing this video up there to maybe have this brand included in my year-end brand ranking. We'll have to see. All right, well, let's let this spin up here. And it's funny because I have these 187 scale models from the same company. They do cost more. You know, you want to look up like a Spark model 187 on eBay. But they do actually have more details, even though it's a smaller model. So, sorry, I'm just taking it out of the box here. So this is the legendary Mazda RX-7, sorry, the 787 that won Le Mans in 1991. This is all resin. It's a plastic model all around. But that's why it has so much detail. Look at this. The wheels are different. Those mirrors have a reflective sticker in them. There's this two antennas on the roof here. You have a metal vertical central windshield wiper. Look at that windshield wiper. That's one of the best I've seen at any scale. Right? It's got holes in it. Lightning holes. The vents, they go super far into the body. Man, that's some really slang English there. Sorry. But the dimensionality of these pieces. Look at this wing struts. They're thin pieces of metal, and there's a lot of details back in this thing.